Many things to talk about, Erik, obviously, but just you had to burn through timeouts just to keep Jimmy breathing.
I mean, we had everybody in the paint. LeBron just had a bunch of those possessions in the fourth quarter where he was just getting to the basket, offensive rebounding, everything, at the rim, to the free throw line. So we needed to bring not only a second defender there, a third defender. Then they cut, and of course, Danny Green is there. But there was, a karma to it. I thought our just competitive spirit throughout the course of the game, was great. And sometimes it's make or miss, and sometimes you need to be a little bit fortunate. We were, but we also made a lot of plays, particularly on the other end. Jimmy, again, his will to win is remarkable. And to do that in 47-plus minutes and take the challenge on the other end. This is every young player coming into this league should study footage on Jimmy Butler. The definition of a two-way player, competing on both ends, 5 steals, and then making those big plays down the stretch for us offensively.
And I know guys have been telling Duncan ever since he got here, just shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. Did you have any sense that tonight was going to be the night where it finally came together?
No, none of us, really know. You just know his makeup, his character. He's going to continue to work his routes. I thought he was just so persistent, and their level of physicality on him as well is nothing like the regular season or nothing like the first 3 rounds. He just dusts himself off. Continues to run his routes with great force. He broke free a few times, and he didn't break free a few times, and still was able to put some pressure on him. But look, he's not only him, but Kanan and Tyler. They're like sticks of dynamite. They can go off at any time, and we needed that tonight.
Malika?
Spo, what, was it a conversation with Jimmy where you were like, well, we need you to take a break, and he said no? Or was that the understanding going in, 1? And then 2, can you just describe or contextualize what you saw from Andre Iguodala on the defensive end down the stretch?
If you're not really watching Andre, if you're just kind of looking at it like with a broad spectrum, it appears that he's in 3 places at once. And that's part of his genius. They're a great offensive team, so you need some guys that just have incredible instincts and have had a bunch of pressure-packed reps. Andre's had those, Jimmy's had those, Jay has had those. Bam is just turned 23, but it feels like he's had a bunch of those by the context of our last couple years. And we're pushed, to have to make a lot of different kind of reads and plays, defensively. What was your first question?
LeBron, Mike Trudell in LA. I've asked you this basically every round, but closeout games, you've won 16 of the last 17. You said your mindset is about finding a way to be as desperate as the other team. It just seems like that'd be so much easier said than done. How do you find a way to do that?
Just who I am. It's just the way I prepare my mind, prepare my body, prepare for the moment. And just having that desperation coming into a closeout game. And not saying it is always, I've been victorious after, having that mindset, but that's just who I've, become and how I've challenged and channeled, my mindset and the moment and living in the moment and not taking it for granted and just channeling that desperation is knowing that the opponent and the man across from you has that same feeling. So that's what it is.
Allison?
Start with Dan.
LeBron, the executive of the year award just came out. I think Rob finished 5th or 6th or something like that. We know how you guys feel about Defensive Player of the Year. We heard what you said about MVP. Typically, individual accolades come with great team success, and you guys had it. Do you have any idea as to why maybe it hasn't, for whatever reason, happened on this team, those individual accolades?
You have to ask whoever voted.
Tim Reynolds?
LeBron, I think you've gotten this question at like every final, so I apologize. But looking at what you did this year, being I think the oldest to be a first-time assist champ, and back on this stage with a third different team, and you don't need the list. I mean, the fan vote for MVP, I think you won pretty easily. What has this year done for legacy, or do you think the legacy is, no matter what you do from today forward, do you think the legacy is already kind of written?
Don't really think about it too much. I think the story be told how it's supposed to be told, and be written how it's supposed to be written, but I live my life thinking about legacy. I do off the floor is what means more to me than what I do on the floor. How I, seeing my kids on the back of a Wheaties box yesterday was one of the best moments of my life. And seeing my mom unveil the box back in my hometown, back in Ohio yesterday, was some of the best news and videos and pictures that I've ever seen, I could ever get. The game of basketball will pass me by, and there's a group of young kids and vets and rookies throughout the course of this game. But so I can't worry about that as far as on the floor. How I move, how I walk, what I preach, what I talk about, how I inspire the next generation is what matters to me most. And if you appreciate my game, then cool. If you didn't, then that's cool too. But that's what it boils down to.
David Bannerman?
LeBron, you guys are going to wear the Black Mamba uniforms tomorrow. I wanted to know if you recall the first time seeing them, either when the Lakers wore them a couple seasons ago or just when you first got your hands on it. And you're a guy who has aesthetic opinions. What did you think about that look?
I thought they were cool from when I seen them, when they wore them a few years ago. And obviously until you get your hands on them, you don't get to see detail in them. It's super duper detailed. Has that snake mamba print on it. And it means something. It's something more than just a uniform. It represents an individual who gave franchise 20 years of his blood, sweat, and tears, and his dedication to his craft, both on and off the floor. Take that franchise, be proud of him, and hopefully vice versa. So, like I think last year we had a Shaq jersey. Magic did one as well. I think it's pretty cool when you're wearing a uniform the legend had his hands on.
Kyle Gurn?
Just adding to the closeout game, which you've obviously played closeout games before, but the fact that you're also, potentially one win away from going home and being reunited with a lot of the people that you want to see and care about, does it make it harder to kind of prepare the same way for this game than any of the others?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have a support system at home that's taking care of that allows me to focus on my job. So when I get home, but I got a job to do.
Okay, Sam Amick, please.
Bron, you've talked about AD so much during this run, but I'm curious about the relationship basically 2018. I think it was December of 2018. You mentioned to Dave about how it'd be amazing to play with him. You've talked about 2012 and the Olympics. What was the evolution of two of you between that time, and when did you decide, like, in terms of possible partners, to do this thing, that this was the guy that you wanted to be with?
Well, on the 2012 team, first of all, you look at his 1 year at Kentucky and what he was able to produce for that program in 1 year. His ability to outrun guards, ball handling with the smalls, block shots, catch lobs. I mean, I remember one game, I think they were playing North Carolina, and he had the game-winning block. I believe it was versus John Henson, if I'm not mistaken, if my basketball mind is correct. And that block was incredible and won that game. But you just looked at his run throughout that whole March Madness. He was just beyond the best player in college basketball. And we get to 2012, he's a young